Hey, we are live now, Jack. Hello, everybody. Give us all a little wave. Hello. We are here live in multiple locations across the internet. So we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're all over the place today. And we are here with the most amazing Jack Ray from the company Homebox, formerly known as Billing Better. Now, I had a secret little chat with Jack a little while ago. And I'm all about how to look for ways to generate revenue and generate profit. He's got some sneaky little tricks up his sleeve here, how letting agents and estate agents can help themselves generate more revenue from the work that they're already doing. And I like the sound of that. And I said, Jack, me and you need to have a chat. We need to go live and we need to let everybody know how they can start to generate some extra revenue using this cool little tool that he has called Homebox, which is formerly called Billing Better. So thank you so much, Jack, for joining me here today. We all like to talk about making more money. That's always a good thing to communicate and talk about, particularly in times like this. So how can we change the name?
Thanks for having me, Sally. Last year we acquired a business called Homebox, and we're in the process of launching a new mobile app that lists every home with bills included as one monthly payment. And we feel as though by doing that, the Homebox brand is much nicer and less kind of utilities focused than Homebox, and it feels like a nicer fit. So that's the decision there.
Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so Billing Better. So how can we help letting agents? Obviously, it's one of those times at the moment where things are tight. There's lots of costs going up, staff costs going up, bills are going up for our landlords, interest rates are going up, Clause 24 is biting. It just seems to be like a triple whammy coming from every single angle. It's just like getting squeezed. And so as any business owner, we've got to look for ways to increase revenue. How do you do that at Billing Better / Homebox?
Yeah, so I think there's two key elements of how we do that. So the first is all around time saving and efficiency. So all the letting agents that we speak to, they all often have this same challenge of one person in their office is dealing with a big stack of post of utility bills that have come into their office for void periods, and someone is having to dedicate their time to open those letters, check to make sure they're correct, and if they're not correct, which is the case a lot of the time, then they're on the phone to energy companies. And what we're saying is, don't do any of that. Use our platform to tell us when someone's moving out and then when someone's moving in, and we will do all of that work for you. So we will effectively stop those bills coming in, stop someone having to spend their time doing that work, and we will do all that work for you through our integrations with energy suppliers, water companies, and local authorities. We can streamline that whole process. So that's the first.
So time is a really important commodity. And I think one of the things that I coach people is, and I think a lot of people don't really quite understand that, as letting agents and estate agents, what we sell is time. That is our stock. That's our product. We don't sell gold or cans of beans or oil or gas. We sell time. And so you're absolutely right. Saving time can save you money, which effectively is making you money. And I know from my own experience in agency that doing the utilities is a pain in the backside, to be fair. It can take a lot of time. Do you have any numbers, figures, stats as to what sort of time it saves versus doing it the traditional way versus using a product such as yours?
Yeah, so typically it's between sort of 40 and 80 minutes per tenancy is how much we say we'd save someone. So obviously that scales with the size of the agency, but that number is based on firstly knowing who the utility companies are when a tenant moves out and a tenant moves in. We've got that live in real time, so we don't, someone doesn't need to go and find that information out. And then it's those bills that come in incorrectly, and if you're want to get them accurate for your landlords, then you're going to need to go on live chat or call an energy supplier or whatever that may be. That's where that kind of time element comes in. So yeah, between sort of 40 and 80 minutes per tenancy is kind of what we say. So average agent doing 10 tenancies a month, then we're looking at sort of 8 hours a month of time being saved.
That is a massive saving. And one of the things I always say with people when you're talking about time, you say, well, 8 hours. I mean, that in itself is a lot of revenue. We've worked out that most letting agents, it costs them around anything between £40 and £80 per hour for someone to sit in that seat. So if you add up all the office costs and insurance costs and staff costs and everything, somewhere between 40 and 80 pounds per hour is what it costs to have a human sit in a seat for every single hour. So straight away, you've got somewhere between 300 and 800 pounds there in revenue, pretty much, haven't you, that you could be saving. But also there's the opportunity loss, because that's what a lot of people don't think about. I hear so many people say, oh, I do all my inventories myself because I don't want to pay 50 quid or 60 quid to have an inventory. But hold on a second, that's taking 2-3 hours out of your time. What could you be doing with those 2-3 hours? And just imagine you've got 8 hours now, Jack, nothing else to do in your letting agency because that job's gone. What could you do? And the answer is, well, you could be hitting the phones, you could be generating some landlord vals, you could be doing some letting agent fully managed conversions, you could be creating some content, you could be going live, you could be, the list is endless of things that you could be doing with those 8 hours rather than sitting on the phone trying to sort out utilities. So I think it is a huge value to utilize software such as yourself and to really streamline your business in any which way you possibly can as a letting agent, because your commodity is time. And if you can achieve the same amount of work with a fraction of the time, then you're making more profit. You are just making more profit by the fact that you can use that time to do, or your staff's time to do more efficient things. So I think that's a hugely valuable concept. When you spoke to me, I thought, do you know what, that is so right. And then you talked to me about how much money you can make, and I got really excited and said, Jack, we've got to go live about this. So there's a double whammy to this, but definitely saving time is a huge thing. That's really interesting. So how long does it take then for, say, for example, I'm going to use your system now and I've got tenant moving out, tenant moving in, I'm going to do my jiggery pokery on your software. How long would that take to do that, to move a tenant in?
It's about a minute of adding that information in it, and autofill certain information over time as well to kind of make that faster. We're also integrating with the major CRMs at the moment to reduce that minute as well, so that we just pull the information straight from there. So that's 100% our strategy. We know how many different systems agents use, and we don't want to we have to be another one, but if we can integrate in the right areas, then we can deliver the service without being another piece of software to use. So we fully recognize that how important that is. I think the other point is around, the morale of the team. You don't want your team on the phone to British Gas all the time. It really is at times an emotional sap. So I would throw that into the mix of how it saves time as well. But
yeah, isn't it? Sitting on hold forever.
It's horrendous. And we stories, but yeah, you're right. There is a double whammy element to it around the revenue, and that's kind of how we look to position this is kind of make more efficiencies and then make money. And the area that so I guess that the difference between us and other kind of utility management platforms out there is that our utility management platform ties directly into our product that either lets the tenant to search for the best deals for free on a comparison site, which is fairly standard, or offer a bill consolidation product. So at a time where cost of living, as you say, is hitting everyone, at a time where budgeting is more important than ever, we've got a product that allows the tenant to bundle all of their bills into a single monthly payment and pay on a date of the month that they're comfortable with. So, for example, they get paid on the 25th of the month, and then on the 26th, they pay one amount for their gas, electric, water, council tax, broadband, TV. And then, we allow the tenant to kind of have that single point of contact, single monthly payment. And that's the area that's our core bread and butter product that allows us to pay out some pretty good commission. We pay out sort of between 100 and 250 pounds a year for a tenancy that takes a bills package with us. So it's chunky.
To the agent or to somebody else?
Directly to the agent, yeah.
To the £120 per tenant per year. Hold on, just doing my maths there. That's a good number. That's a very good number.
We know that bill consolidation, bill bundling isn't for everyone, and we're not trying to sort of position it's the product that everyone should be doing. We know that, but we do know that there's a percentage of tenants that will take it. We convert about 20% of all tenants taking a bills package, but we've got agents who understand it and understand the benefits and include that within their their kind of lettings process. And we've got agents doing more than 50% conversion onto those packages. So, agents who've got 500 managers, they're doing that level of conversion, which obviously has significant amount of revenue associated to it. So yeah.
So when say somebody's so just trying to explain the process to me. So do you talk to the tenants and get them on, or does the agent talk to the how does it work? Do you put them on and somebody deals with it? How does that work?
So we do both. So the software, whenever a new tenancy is created in the software, it looks at who the suppliers are for gas, electric, water, council tax, and it tells them this tenant's now responsible for the bills. But simultaneously, we get that tenant information and we send them 3 texts, 3 emails, and we give them a couple of phone calls during that kind of move-in process. But the agent can also, through our portal, click through and invite a tenant to sign up to a package. They can sort of indicate which person in the office is kind of doing that sale, and we have kind of incentive schemes there as well. And then the other option is that we can allow the agent to book in like a free home setup call with our team. So they can just click a link, say what time are you available. The guys at Homebox will give you a 15-minute call, tell you who your suppliers are, tell you what broadband speed you've got, what council tax band you're in, whether you've got a prepayment meter or a smart meter, and then if you want to take a bills package. So yeah, it's about kind of.
I didn't know about the bills package. That reminds me of the old secure homes in the old days. I don't know if they're still going. And then you've got utility warehouse, I think, to something similar, I believe. So that's really quite cool that you've tied that together. I think for a lot of people, that certainly would help with the budgeting. I've just done some maths. I got my calculator out just to check the figures. But if you've got 500 properties at £120, let's say you got 500 onto the system, that's £60,000 a year in commission. 60. And if you only got 100 of those on, that's £12,000 a year. I mean, that could pay half a salary, couldn't it? Or if £60,000, a couple of tenancy manager salaries. That's absolutely phenomenal. That's a decent amount of commission. You must get a big take up on this.
We do. I mean, we're, what it's like in this space. It's all about kind of cutting through the noise and getting that proposition as clear as possible for agents so that they understand the challenge. And I think the void piece is what we do to really solve that kind of first-hand problem. And the commission often, we find agents are either commission driven or they're time saving driven, and ultimately we do both, but we try to kind of pitch it to the right people at the right time. So yeah, we have really good success rates of onboarding agents when they do a demonstration with us. Like all businesses in our space, it's just about getting as many to the top of the funnel as possible, which is why we're
I think one of the big challenges for letting agents, talking from my own personal experience, is we probably have like 100 people. It feels like 100 people a week trying to sell us something. And it's just like, it's hard to cut through the noise and find the thing that's going to make the difference. You know what I mean? It is so difficult with the amount of volume out there. It's very, which is why when I get something like this, I think, I'm going to jump on this. And I don't do these very often. I think the last time I did one of these was probably 6 months ago or so, so very picky and very choosy about that. But it's very rare you get something you think, Christ, everyone should be doing this. And this is one of those things. So thank you so much for bringing it to my attention. It's really cool. So we said 60,000 for 500 properties, 12,000 for 100 properties if every single one of those went on, which is absolutely awesome. How could people get in touch with you? Are we looking for Homebox, or are we looking for Billing Better? What are we looking for to find you? Where do we find you? I'm confused. That's not good, by the way.
No, it's all part of our big hairy rebrand that's going on at the moment. So yeah, I'll share a meeting link with me directly on here, and I'd encourage agents, if they want to kind of talk through it, to book a call in there. You can contact us on both pages. So Homebox and Billing Better both have a contact us page, and we're managing the migration from Billing Better into Homebox. We're also launching a mobile app, which is a bit different. We've got a partnership with Zoopla where we're
dropping a link. I can't see the link. Have you dropped the link in? You just drop it in, and I'll copy it onto the banner so that we've got it, because I think make sure we go in the right place. It doesn't come up yet. Oh, private chat. There we go. It's come up as private chat. I've got it. I'll copy that. I'll put it in the comments. Now, some of you won't be able to see the comments if you're not logged into StreamYard. So I'll also put it on as a banner if I can. I think I can do that. I think I can create a banner. We're getting really techie here now, Jake. This is exciting. And I think I can show that. There we are. All right. And if people want to Google you, would they Google Homebox or would they Google Billing Better? Just so they're clear.
Homebox, 100%. And they'll be able to get all the information that they need on the website. yeah, I appreciate it. It's the perils of a rebrand is a bit tricky, but yeah, it's
It's that
Homebox.
in-betweeny phase when people still know you as this, but you're that, and then it's sort of where you are in the middle, isn't it? But I think it's an absolute fantastic product. So how long does it take? So say, for example, you said, yep, right, get us in, Jack, get us sorted. How long does it take to get everything up and running and working?
Yeah, so it's really quick. So the system, you can sign up to immediately, start adding your properties and then your tenancies within properties straight away. It's designed to be, as quick as possible on that front. So you can add a property and a tenancy within sort of a minute and a half. But in terms of doing it in the right way, we'd always kind of ask to do a demonstration with me or with a member of the sales team. It takes half an hour. Then you can be straight in the platform. What we're looking to do, as I mentioned, is integrate with CRM. So there's a bit of onboarding there to do, but once that's done, then you effectively don't need to do anything after that, because the data comes in and out. We do the void work as we discussed at the start, and then we offer the tenants automatically the product. So yeah, it's quick. Is the short answer.
I actually think the tenant switching service is really good as well, because I think from my experience of listening to the chatter in my office and the girls here, quite often people don't look for the latest deal, or it just rolls over and they're probably paying top rate and they don't realize it's actually really a good idea to help people stay on top of that. So is there, well, if you do the first one, it goes out, is there any reminders when their product finishes, or how does that happen from a tenant's perspective? They've been on a 2-year deal. What happens after that 2-year deal? Is there anything happens then?
Yeah, so we do have a process where we reach out to tenants at the point of renewal. Normally that's obviously 6 or 12 months or whatever it may be. And we do present the latest deals to them at that point. Yeah. So we have like a live comparison site that always has the best prices available in real time. So we do send that out at renewal point.
And as letting agents, do we have to do anything with our terms and conditions to offer this? Is there any changes we have to make for the landlords?
Yeah, so there's the two areas. Yeah, so the GDPR clauses that we asked to drop in to ASTs for tenants. So there's a short paragraph that we asked to put in there, and then depending on whether you, as an agency, deal with void period or manage the void bills in care of your landlords, or whether the landlords deal with it themselves, there's a clause there subject to whichever that kind of process is for the agent. Just a short paragraph.
Fantastic. And does Homebox do anything else, or is it just this? Is this everything that you do, or is there anything else that you do as well?
Well, yeah. So look, to keep it simple, those two things are the key areas that we operate in. Now, what we've decided to do, I kind of touched on it before, is we're launching a mobile app for the reason of all of Zoopla's properties will be pulling into our app, but what the user would see is the cost of the rent, the cost of the bills as one payment. So they're effectively able to search for any rental home in our app with that cost of rent and bills as one payment to give you a true cost of how much that home is. Will then be, if a tenant says, yeah, I'm interested in this property, then they'll get a lead through as they would normally from Zoopla. So that's probably the big thing we're doing, because once a tenant says, I'm interested in this property, they will also be able to use us to pay for their rent and their bills as one payment in the future as well. So that's kind of where we've got to go. There's a big thing about bills included having to be the landlord being responsible for the bills, or the agent having to be responsible for the bills to offer that as a service. But what we do and what we're suggesting is that you'll have two options as an agent. You can either use us to collect the rent and the bills from the tenant. 100% of the rent goes to the agent, and all the utilities money goes directly to the suppliers. So it's a full bills included experience, but without the agent or landlord having to be responsible for the bills. Or if you want to offer this kind of semi-bills included experience where the rent goes wherever it goes normally, and then the bills come to us as one payment, you can do that as well. So that's the kind of extra thing we're doing, is this kind of lead gen piece. And we're doing it because we know that last year, Rightmove said that bills included was the biggest search for term by renters. So we feel as though there's a big opportunity to kind of open up bills included to any renter, whilst the landlord or the agent doesn't have to kind of get in the weeds of being responsible for the bills, which is the kind of normal scenario.
So the obvious question that comes to my mind then, and I'm just totally off the cuff here. So if the bills go up, does their payment go up, or does the landlord or agent deal with that?
Well, the landlord may deal with any of it. So so we have two options for the tenants. They can either take an unlimited package where it's a fixed amount regardless of how much energy they use throughout the year. And we do that as like a risk piece. So we look at consumption and we go, okay, we think the average home will use this much. We'll offer an unlimited tariff at this much, and we'll kind of hedge that we're comfortable with that price. So that's option one. Option two is they pay for what they use. So if they, in a standard energy supplier scenario, if you use more energy than your direct debit, then your bill goes up. So, or likewise, if you use less, then it goes down. So we offer both options.
That's really interesting, because that gives you a whole new marketing angle with tenants, doesn't it, really? And I can see that would work with some interesting demographics. I mean, does it work with HMOs, or would it not work with HMOs? Because a lot of the bills are included anyway with HMOs. Would that work?
HMOs are slightly different in that, yes, was included to the HMO operators. So, but in that scenario, the operator or the landlord is the bill payer, and they're recharging the tenant for each room for a price that includes the rate for the room and the bills. So we are rolling out a HMO product here at the moment where we again collect the money for either the rent and the bills, or just the bills from the tenant in a HMO scenario. And whenever a tenant moves out, they swap in the next one, and the landlord covers the period where the void basically on the room. So it's a little bit more complex, but we do it, and it's there's definitely a need for it in the HMO space.
That's fascinating. So we've heard it here first then, guys. So billing better is now called Homebox. That's my first wow, okay. Secondly, you can save time, which is what our commodity. That's what we're saving. That's what we're spending. That's what our costs are. That's where all of the money goes out of our. In fact, just an interesting fact for you, Jack, I don't know if you know this, but on my studies of letting agents across the UK, 50% of our costs is staff time. 50%. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. And we can save some time by using various bits of tech. And this one sounds like an awesome one for saving the difference between an hour to 1 minute, which is absolutely amazing. But not only that, you can make money as well, up to £120 per tenancy per year, which on my calculation for 500 tenancies is 60,000 a year. That sounds like a good pay rise to me. Definitely worth doing it. And also the tenants get the benefit of being able to pay one lump sum payment for all of their bills, which I know a lot of them will love, some won't, some will. But also they get to shop around and get the best deal as well, all within one place. So I think it's a win-win for everybody by the sounds of it. And we all love a bit of tech. But as you say, Jack, it's sometimes hard to get through to agents because, you know, we're getting so bombarded. We don't really just want to listen to everybody. And hopefully this has opened a few people's eyes to see what Billing Better stroke Homebox is all about and how they can implement it into their business to generate some revenue, help some tenants get better deals, and really just save their time and stop that. What do they call that? That death by telephone, sitting there for hours on British Gas trying to get through to somebody to give them an answer. Hopefully we can get that at a letting agency for good. That really is a time drain. We don't want that anymore. So anything else to add, Jack, before we finish, before we close?
No, thanks so much for your time. As I say, you know, please feel free to reach out if you want to talk through a demonstration. But yeah, thanks so much, Sally. It's been great.
Absolutely. I think Jack has just shared his Calendly link. Where's that one gone? So there it is. If you want to speak to Jack, you maybe take a photograph of it, type it in, or if you're in the chat, you can copy it there. Alternatively, just go and find the Homebox website. I guess it's www.homebox.co.uk, is it? Or is it something more complex than that?
Yeah,
Homebox.co.uk. Go and find that, and you can inquire on there and just say that you saw Jack on the Sally Lawson Industry Spotlight webinar, so he knows it's come from here. But that's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'm so glad we've been able to put this out to the Agent Rainmaker community across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and various different pages. Thank you for your time today. It's been really amazing, and thanks for letting me share it. It's been cool.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.